Patrica drives the same way to work every day. She has been doing this for over 3 years, and actually, nothing crazy has ever happened. Until today. Patrica is on the road for about 10 minutes when out of the corner of her eye, she sees something on the side of the road, which shouldn't be there. She parks the car and heads for it. With her hands still shaking from the find, Patrica tried to call the police. She could not handle this alone, that was for sure, and she needed help now. But the police seemed very skeptical about her phone call at first. When they reluctantly did end up sending a squad car with officers, they promised Patricia that if she was lying, that she would be in deep trouble. She was making some very serious claims here, and the police did not seem happy about it. But when they arrived, they quickly lost all doubt about whether Patrica was telling the truth. Thank God they believed her. But what strange noise was coming from the ditch? What did Patrica find to be the cause of it, and why did the police have to get involved? But before we start our story, smash the like button, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. Patricia was amazed at the strange sound she heard while driving through her countryside. Aside from the odd sound, it was surprising how she had heard the sound, as she paid not much attention to her surroundings as she drove. The sound must have been so loud for it to have caught her attention. Since the environment she drove past was always silent, it was easy to note any unusual happenings in the area. As she drove across the surrounding that sunny day and heard the odd sound, she concluded that something was up, and finding out what the cause of the sound was worth her time. Fear began to creep in. Without hesitation, Patricia pulled the car over to check what was making the strange sound. On alighting, she began to feel some uneasiness. She felt some fear when she alighted from the car because she realized nobody was around the vicinity except the people living on the farms, which were not so distant from her. Her realization of the people on the farms ahead of her calmed her down. Next to the highway Patricia was driving on was a ditch. Without much thought, she concluded that the noise must have been from the particular side of the road. Patricia began to wonder if something was in the ditch. Her utmost desire was to identify what was making noise. She hoped that her finding wasn't put in danger her life. It was evident that Patricia's enthusiasm to find out the cause of the noise was more significant than all the fears she was feeling. She crossed over to the side of the ditch and began walking along with it while inspecting it closely. She saw nothing out of the ordinary for a couple of minutes of her inspection. She was beginning to get weary when something caught her attention as she looked ahead. Her discovery seemed off. She noticed something along the ditch. What she saw seemed out of place. She felt the thing didn't belong to the location. Since she was a bit distant from her discovery, she couldn't make out what it was. It was only a matter of before she found out what thing was. Patricia's curiosity got raised. The unusual object Patricia sighted heightened her curiosity. She couldn't wait any longer to uncover the mystery behind the strange sound, so she increased her pace. She began jogging alongside the ditch, her gaze focused on the direction of the strange object she spotted. At this time, nothing seemed tangible enough to distract her. Discouragement welled up in her. As Patricia moved closer to the object, she began to doubt if what she spotted was the cause of the sound she had heard earlier. While thinking, it dawned on her that the whole surroundings had been quiet since she pulled over the car. All these thoughts made her start doubting if dedicating her time to the quest was worth it. The sound became more pronounced. As she got close to the object, she discovered that her predictions all the while were true. It became evident that the strange sound was coming from the object. With every step Patricia took towards the object, the sound became louder. As Patricia got nearer to the object, she began to make up different guesses about what the object could be. She was filled with different thoughts. Patricia came to the realization that she would need help to handle the situation if the object was what she presumed it to be. While all these thoughts were running through her mind, she had no other option than to run towards the noise. Her hope was to get to the ditch safely and save the situation once and for all. An obstacle raised its ugly head. As Patricia was getting excited that the object's identity was about to be uncovered, she faced a challenge. she detected that the object was on the other side of the very wide ditch, and so to reach the object, she needed to jump over the ditch. It was challenging to do because of the likelihood of hitting the side of the ditch and then getting stuck. There was nobody around. Jumping the wide ditch wasn't meant to be so much of a big deal, but since Patricia had nobody around her, she feared that her life might be in danger if things didn't go as planned. The situation of things got her thinking for some minutes. Luckily for her, she wasn't alone for long. While hoping that she saw somebody around, Patricia saw an old car coming from the direction of a farm and driving towards her. From afar, Patricia started waving her arms, hoping the farmer would see her and stop. Fortunately for her, the farmer did just as she had hoped. To her greatest surprise, the farmer was intentionally driving to meet her. The farmer had spotted her when she parked her car along the road and thought she most likely needed help. Patricia's heart melted at the man's narration. Funny how a coincidence turned out in her favor. He came at the perfect time. The farmer's thought turned out to be accurate as he met Patricia at the point when she needed help, even though it wasn't with the car that she had parked. The moment the farmer got down from his truck, he began to hear the noise. The noise he heard served as a significant confirmation to him that he had arrived where Patricia was at the right time. In no time, Patricia explained to the farmer that they needed to get to the other side of the ditch as fast as possible. Since they were two, getting to the other side seemed easy, but they both knew returning would require extra care. They purposed not to get discouraged by speculated problems such as getting to know what the object was the most important thing at the time. They came up with a plan quickly. Immediately, they came up with a plan and then sprung into action. Patricia jumped to the other side of the ditch. The farmer kept an eye on her with all readiness to help. Luckily for them, she jumped across the ditch successfully. Patricia could not help but heave a heavy sigh of relief at this victory. At Patricia's successful crossing over the ditch, the farmer got into his truck and drove back speedily to the farm. He needed to rush back to the farm to get a ladder they would place over the ditch. Patricia's safe return to the other side of the ditch was sure with the ladder. While the farmer was away, Patricia had time to inspect the strange object and its sound. Her suspicions were confirmed within a few seconds of inspecting the surrounding where the object was. What she saw confirmed all her thoughts about the object, even the results she speculated of the discovery were going to be. From her discovery, she came to the conclusion that the happening was beyond what she or the farmer could handle alone. As a result of her conclusion, she picked up her phone quickly and put a call through to the police. In spite of her desire to save the situation, her safety and that of the farmer were very important. The police officer was greatly shocked. Thankfully, a police officer picked up her call. She explained what she had discovered to him without wasting time. The police who answered the phone was left in complete shock at Patricia's explanation. Without hesitation, he sent 2 officers to the scene to assist her. The situation required an urgent response. The police felt one officer was not ideal enough to handle the situation. Alongside the road, Patrica had found a baby in a stroller. His parents had apparently forgotten him here, and the police managed to track them down that same day, which was not hard as they had already come to the station in a panic. Luckily, they have quickly reunited with their son again thanks to Patrica. What an incredible story! Patricia's quick thinking and determination saved the day and brought a family back together. Imagine what could have happened if she hadn't stopped to investigate that strange sound. But what about you? What would you have done if you were in Patricia's shoes? Would you have pulled over or driven on? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another amazing story. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.